Hey guys, Tepco Cyc Repair. Today we're going to be talking about sealing up these two-stroke engines and making sure that you don't have any unmetered air going into your engine. Before we do that, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Let's get started here. So on these two-strokes, you need to make sure that on this one here, in this case, we just did the bottom end, and you can see the sealant, all right, in between the two cases. It gets squished out a little bit here. All right, you can see how much it's out right there. All right, squeeze that a little bit, and this was a super thin layer, so you only need to put a little bit on there. But it had a little super thin layer on there, and that's how much it squeezes out. So what I want to talk about today is that you need to make sure when you're putting your cylinder on that you pay attention to this, because I've had a lot of engines come in here and they have hot spots on the pistons because they're sucking air here. You never want any unmetered air going in there. So what I want you to look at here is you see how much sealant is on there, and you can kind of see how high that is, all right? When you put the gasket on there, when I take the gasket here and I put it on there, I'm going to show you how much that thing rocks just from that. All right, so here we have the gasket sitting on there, and look how much. All right, and that's how much that is sticking up. Now, when you tighten it down, it's going to squish it down some, but you're still going to have that lump there, and it's not going to get a perfect seal. And even when you think you got it sealed right, if you didn't clean this up first, you're going to have a problem. So what I like to do, in this case, let me get this gasket off here. What I'll do is I'll take a brand new razor blade, nice and clean, all right, and slice this off really smooth so I know it's nice and flush. Just like that. All right, nice and clean, and I'm just going to put a tight little wipe right there before I put the gasket on. I still don't trust just the gasket. Then I'm going to take some of the same seal right here while it's wet and just put a tight coat right there. And when I put the tight coat on here and on here, just like that, guys, a real thin coat. Then I'll put the gasket right on it, drop the cylinder on, and mount the cylinder on. And at that point, it'll squish any sealant that it doesn't need out of the way. It'll make a nice tight bond, and you won't have any leaks there. The CR250 I have is a little bit different. It has a paper gasket here. So if you have a CR250 where it has a paper gasket, when you slice the gasket here, because the gasket when you get it new is going to be connected, when you slice that gasket, make sure that that gasket is nice and perfectly even, and then do the same thing. Put a tight wipe of this. This is Yamabond that I'm using. Put a tight wipe of Yamabond on there, drop your gasket on it, and it will seal up nice and clean right there. When I did a leak down test or a pressure test on that CR250 when I got it, this was one of the places that it was leaking. Right underneath the reed cage, you saw some bubbles coming out. That's where it was leaking out of. There's a couple other ones where people cut the gaskets before they mount everything up. And when they cut it a little bit short, and they went ahead and just threw the base gasket on, mounted the cylinder, and they had probably an 1/8 of an inch gap in there that was just leaking everything out. You don't want that to happen. The bike won't run right. You won't get a smooth idle. You may have some idles, you know, just kind of going up and down. You got to make sure that this seam right here is perfectly sealed, front and back. Cut it smooth. Put a tight wipe of Yamabond before you put the gasket back on it, and then torque your cylinder, and everything will be good to go. Pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure everything is sealed up good. This is a two-stroke. You don't want any unmetered air getting sucked into this thing, and it will last you a long time, guys. Hopefully this helps you out. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Until next time, here's Tepco Cyc Repair.